reintroduce myself. My name is Tony Celeste. Along with me is Jennifer Lazovich, and as I think most of you know, we represent the applicant and the property owner for the property, the out parcel here in outside of Southern Highlands, right here on Star Hills, about the 5-acre parcel highlighted here in yellow. As you know, we've had a bit of history of this site now, dating back to earlier this summer, starting at Enterprise Town Board hearing, and then went to the County Commission on 2 different times. Once in, I think it was September, or once in August, and then most recently on September 18th. At that September 18th meeting, Commissioner Jones asked us to hold it, have another neighborhood meeting. So we are having this neighborhood meeting. I think, as most of you know, we're going to the December 18th BCC hearing, which is a week from Wednesday. We have made changes to the original plan that you guys have seen. We started with 40 lots. We've reduced the lots. We're going to be able to withdraw a few of the waivers. Some of the other waivers are less now. So we'll go through each one of those here in a second and show you those changes. But again, I just wanted to start with kind of highlight of the area. Sorry, this one's a little bit small, but this was the original 40 lot plan right here. Access off of Star Hills here, 40 lots. The lots, smallest lot was about 3,300 square feet. Largest lot was about 3,700 square feet. We have made some changes, quite a bit of changes you can see right here. Again, Star Hills to the south entryway in, we're at 30 lots now. So we've reduced it by 25%. So gone down from 40 to 30, about 6 units. It is exactly 6 units to the acre. Over here to the west of us, the density is about 5.7, or 5.5 and 5.7. So much closer to those densities that exist today as opposed to the 8 that we had shown a couple of months ago. The lot sizes now have increased from that 3,300 to 3,700 square feet. We're now at our smallest lot is just over 4,000 square feet, and we do get a lot. Lot 27 is 8,100 square feet. These lots right here are a little over 7,000 on the edges here as well. The homes, and I'll show you the changes in elevation. There was some of the comments too, can we do more improved elevations? The answer is yes, we are. One of the other things before I move off this map, these lots have asterisks 6, 7, 18, 19, and 30. We are going to agree that those will be restricted to 1-story homes, and we'll put together a list of additional proposed conditions that we're going to offer, and of course we'll share that with you prior to next Wednesday's hearing. But yeah, we will restrict these. We will condition ourselves that these lots 6, 7, 18, 19, and 30 be limited to 1-story only. The home sizes have increased. Previous homes were 1,500 square feet to 2,400 square feet. Now the home sizes will range from 2,100 to almost 2,700 square feet. I know a lot of these homes on this side range anywhere from 2,300 to 2,900 square feet. So again, we feel
that's actually
much
wrong,
more.
Just so you know, it's like 3,600.
Okay.
And I thought last
That
meeting
was-
you mentioned that some of the homes on your previous plan were 1,200 square foot, now you're saying 15. So I'm a
1,500.
little confused, was it 1,200 square foot last time that you mentioned?
Yes.
Yeah, so those numbers are very inaccurate.
Okay.
And also, it's not, Montana Marone is 4 units per acre, not 5.7.
Right.
That's right, that's 6.
Does it?
And same thing on the other side.
I don't believe that's accurate, but
Oh, it is.
nonetheless, we're down to 30, and it's 6 units to the acre is what we're proposing. And as I said, our homes will now go from 2,100 square feet to just shy of 2,700 square feet. Here are the models. So the bottom is what we showed previously. You can see not too much articulation on the 4 sides. The top 1- and 2-story homes, as I mentioned. added more articulation to it, more kind of, what did you say, like a more Southern Highlands, Mediterranean, Santa Barbara style architecture to be a little bit more compatible with the Southern Highlands that we're on two sides of us there. So that's where you can see the change in elevations here. So those are the changes to the site plan and to the elevations now that we're proposing. Also, there was some additional questions
Are there
that you
gonna be
had for.
sidewalks?
I'm sorry.
Are there gonna be sidewalks?
Internal to the site.
Yeah, because I know last time it was like no sidewalks, like only on
What are you
certain
doing now?
side and
Because
So we have sidewalks.
Yeah.
all the way from
and the
street
driveways were
all-
much smaller too.
So, correct, and so that's actually one of our waivers that we're gonna withdraw, that I'll get
Right,
into.
yeah.
That was internal to the site, was the driveways, so
Yep.
those are being withdrawn, because now the lots are larger, homes are larger, the driveways and the turning radius there now fit. We can comply with that, so those two waivers will be withdrawn, and I'll go through that. But yes, you can see right here, internal sidewalks to the community here, on one side of the road.
Okay.
But
Okay,
yes, we
yeah.
do have internal. It will be gated, not guard gated, just, gate right here. As you recall, one of the, I guess, waivers, or I don't know if it was characterized as a waiver or design review, is about the build out of Star Hills. So we're only dedicating 30 feet instead of 50 Star Hills. For whatever reason, was originally supposed to be a 100-foot right-of-way. When this community and both these communities got built, it only was 30 feet was dedicated, so basically took 20 feet. So we're just asking to match that, otherwise it would look a little weird having, another 20 feet setback here, 50 as opposed to the 30 here. So that waiver still, or design review is still gonna exist.
Is the dog park and park gone from that?
So yeah, so the community amenities, we did have to lose those based on the new layout in order to make the lots larger. It's a give and take, we have to, in order to provide those amenities, we did need to have more units per acre to make it work. Now that we've lost 10 homes, unfortunately, we did have to lose the community center and the pool and things like that we were originally offering. So we had to lose that. These lots, though, especially the ones that are closer to 6,000 and bigger, certainly can accommodate, a smaller type pool. Again, pool sizes are restricted anyways to 600 square feet, 600 square feet. So not each, but several of the lots do have the ability now to, have a pool or some type of backyard amenity. So that was the trade-off. We had to remove the community facility for that. Yes, sir.
Your community is still not part of the Southern Highlands HOA, it's
That's
still separate?
That's correct. We do, though, have to pay, we went over a little bit, we are what's called the Public Facilities Needs Area, so the PFNA. That means we have to enter into a standard development agreement with Clark County, and what that does is requires us for each building permit that we pull, we have to pay additional park fees, fire fees, police fees, things like that. So that's not a negotiated thing, that's a standard agreement that we must enter into with the county prior to us receiving our civil improvement plans being approved. And then prior to us pulling each building permit, that fee needs to be paid. So in lieu of joining Southern Highlands or paying into, I guess, your association fee, we are paying into Clark County's more their public funding fee for their parks, but not specifically Southern Highlands. So we are not part of Southern Highlands, but we have tried to incorporate some of the elements of Southern Highlands design into our revised elevations here.
Is that an annual fee that gets paid to the county?
It's a one-time fee
So it's not
per,
an ongoing fee?
no. But it is, so each building, so hopefully we can have 30 building permits pulled on this, so it'll be 30 times, each fee would be per building, yes.
Do you have a price point yet?
Do we know what,
Market at the time that built.
I guess not yet, maybe I can find out before BCC hearing.
To the
on that.
nearest 100,000 or something like that.
400 or 500, I mean, I don't know, yes, I don't know yet.
I'm sure they'll try to get as much as they can, so.
Tony, correct?
Yes, sir.
Quick question, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just saying.
Living there, all of the construction going on right now with Lennar, it's unbelievable. There's so much going back and forth. How are you in communication with Lennar? How are you gonna designate the trucks? Because there's so much material already going through there. Safety, you have 2 schools on each side.
So-
You've gotta be talking about this.
So Lennar is obviously well in advance of us right now. We're,
It is 187 homes though.
okay.
That's a lot of
So-
homes, so that's like a long-term project.
Let me get into what our truck
Okay,
traffic.
real quick before we
Yes.
do
Oh,
that.
okay.
Would you guys be able to provide some type of rendering showing the elevation of how high those homes are gonna go up? You know, how like, just like where like the homes, you know, I'm more concerned of where Montage Lawn is and just how high those homes are gonna go in.
While they're looking
Yeah,
for
but
that,
they can't cut to the mountain, like how much you're gonna cut and like, you know, you're gonna cut to the mountain obviously, but how much higher is the home gonna be, you know, overlooking our homes, you know what I mean?
while they're looking for that, just
Okay.
one second, Dusty.
Okay.
To going back to your comment or question a few minutes ago, I think we had said that the prior square footages of the homes ranged between 1,500 to like 2,400. And now the minimum homes are 2,100 to 2,600. And I know you mentioned 1,200, I think you said earlier. Yeah.
He even had pictures of
I
it.
have it on the paper.
True, and I'm not sure where that came from because
It's from your
That was the single story.
It's right in the
that was the single story, yeah, but in the 1,500 in the staff report, it's increased, so. I wanted you to notice that, but in the staff report, if you look at the staff report that the county produces, on the prior, I just wanna make sure, everybody knows that the staff report that's gonna go on Wednesday contains the old square footages. So as we start talking about the square footages now, and you go and you pull something off the county website, and it's the staff report, I want you to understand, that's from, they don't update their staff report to the new stuff that we've turned in. So I don't want you to be confused when you
And
see
the
what the
revised
staff report
plans
says.
were submitted late last week too, so
Yeah.
planning now has the new set.
And what was the smallest lot size now?
4,019.
I get what you guys are saying, but initially what you guys showed us, or last meeting I was present for, it was 12.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, but you prompted me to think of something because I was
Yeah,
like,
I
oh, now they're gonna
appreciate-
see this,
I appreciate
and
you
we're
touching
saying
that,
something different,
but,
yeah.
So
Can I
just,
ask a really easy one?
Sure.
We will come back to you,
I've been
Dusty.
in construction a bit in my lifetime.
Okay.
There's no way you don't know what these houses are gonna be sold for, or you can't make money. So I don't trust you giving me any facts when you say, I'm not really sure what they're worth. You wouldn't build a home, if you would lose money, you're not gonna start construction and go, well, I sure hope we make money at the end of this. Because we all know when you guys said 40, if you recall, I'm the first one who said, that means you know you can probably only get 20 and you're gonna hope to get 30. Miracle of miracle, we're now at 30. That's what I assume is gonna be your counter offer. That's how it works. But if you don't know what you're gonna make on each home, you'd lose money and you'd go bankrupt really fast. So there's no way you don't know what the number of homes you need to build to break even. You've increased the size of the house by 25%. You've decreased the number of homes by 25%. You have the exact same number coincidentally of square feet. So you must think that that's the number of square feet you have to build to make a profit on this property.
No, we don't have the same square feet.
Almost like, no, you dropped the square footage of homes total to the,
Oh.
you take 25% less homes and 25% of the homes that now will build. You have the same square footage, almost within like 1% by my back of the paper math here. So you're building.
Okay, I'm not following what you're saying, our square footage of the homes have changed.
You've reduced 25% of the number of homes,
We
right?
went from 40 to 30.
Right, 25%. You've increased the size of each home by also 25%.
I didn't do the math, so.
It's 23 and 24 by my math. So my point is, you're building the exact same number of square feet. So therefore, you must think that that is the number of square feet needed to make a profit for the builder, which I understand that you can make a profit. My point is, but when someone asks, what are they gonna go for? Well, I don't know.
They don't know.
You could not build something if you don't have a real tight ballpark. Or that means you don't need anywhere near 30 homes to make the money you need.
We always, when we come to these meetings, try to anticipate the questions that you're gonna ask. That was one that we didn't ask the developer before we came in. We have focused on the number of homes, what the new square footage is. We know what's gonna come up is truck routes, kind of how we're gonna dig into the mountain, what that cubic yardage is gonna be. We just didn't ask that question. So we focused on other
understand why
stuff.
someone living directly behind me.
Yeah, we can
would
get
have
the
size of
answer.
the lot
Yeah, we can have the
to
answer.
My home value.
no, we asked it.
We can have the answer, we just don't have it right
And
now.
obviously, you guys know how much you need to sell it for to make money at 30 units, 20 units, 40 units. And I feel like it would make it feel like you guys are trying to be more honest when it comes to those things.
No, we just didn't ask that question, that's all. But we can get it, we'll have it. Okay, let's go one at a time, otherwise I can't hear and we can't answer. I know they're still trying to find that. So you've had your hand up, so go ahead.
So I guess my biggest concern is.
Wait, I can't hear her at all. I can't hear her at all. So if, I understand if you guys want to talk, please step outside and then come back in. Go ahead.
So I understand that you guys keep referring to hillside ordinance and that you think that you are doing more homes to match your neighbors. So I can tell you again, right where I live, I've shown you like my house, so 2 of your houses now are gonna be on my wall. So if you actually look at the elevation and the construction before they built Montage Road, there's 4 houses that 100% are within the 2-to-1 hillside ordinance that was there to begin with. So as you go further into the neighborhood, it leveled out more, so they were able and capable to get closer to your 5 number that you said. But our road, like with Dusty and all of us, we are legitimately about 2-to-1. So we are following, Montage Barone completely followed that hillside ordinance. And now you're gonna try to put 6 houses right next to ours that I promise you, even if you don't blast, the hydraulic hammers that you plan on using, that you stated you were using, the studies, the reports, there's full-on data out there showing
Yeah, this
the
one
damage
has
that's
the-
gonna cause to our houses. So again, back to hillside ordinance, Montage Barone is there, everybody keeps saying that we
Hey, Matt,
follow
can we focus
that.
on her question?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Tony, can you grab
You don't want Tony to
We
be
can't do both. She was mid-sentence, so please continue.
So again, it's just Montage Barone followed the hillside ordinance. Those builders did what they were supposed to, because again, where it leveled out, they built more houses. I went, I did the math, there's 5 other neighbors with me that we sent it all back and forth to, that we can look and see, like where it shows. Like my property, again, is almost a half an acre, like I'm just under. And then if you go back, there's another acre, another half an acre, a third of an acre. So we all did, like they did what they were supposed to with those houses because of the amount of, I don't even know, because I'm not a construction person, but blasting or hydraulic hammers, I wasn't there 20 years ago when they built this property, but if you look at it, you can see the elevation of that mountain before, because you can pull all this stuff, it's public records, you can see that it's the 2-to-1. So now you're saying that you're gonna build 6-to-1, or I guess 3-to-1, whatever is now being built, that's way too many houses for that hill, that is going to cause problems to our direct homes, because again, that water that you're gonna have to do for the hydraulic hammers, everything, there's no protection, which I think I gave you the map of, at least like my house, like where you guys thought there was a double barrier wall, there isn't, it stops down further, so everything's gonna go straight into the backyard, the pool, that everything. Like, what are you guys gonna do with that? Because that whole mountain is besides that front half an acre on a horizontal, I guess, level or parallel level to Star, is the only place that's not gonna have an elevation change.
Yeah, so I think there's a combo of 2 things that I'm trying to pull out of. I heard you loud and clear on the number of lots is not where your side of the developed to in terms of hillside. What I took from what you said was, or asked, was between the hydraulics and the way that we have to grade into the mountain, how is that going to also affect the drainage to the existing homes that are adjacent to us? Did I get that right? Does that kind of summarize a little bit of where we were
I guess
headed?
there's 15 questions in one, so I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I know, so I'm trying to-
I didn't get the email, so I found out about this just a couple hours ago, so I didn't get to put any of my notes or anything together, so,
I'm gonna try to answer a question, but I don't know if it's as responsive as maybe, and keep thinking about it if I don't answer it completely. I talked to Dusty about this as well. So the county will put on us a requirement for a drainage study. That has not been done yet. That is not unusual. In the county, actually in all the jurisdictions in Southern Nevada, you don't have to do any of the required studies, like a traffic study or a drainage study, unless the project gets approved. So then if the project were to get approved, we'd have to put in a drainage study with the county. And as part of that drainage study, you can't increase the flows beyond what they already are to like adjacent neighbors. That's like just basic drainage kind of principle. So through that drainage study, it's gonna tell us how we have to manage the water to not make it worse for you or for the other side. We can't do any of that to either side of the property. So I'm not entirely sure I have a good technical answer for you because we haven't done that drainage study yet.
We do have
But that-
some additional detail here.
Oh,
I
good,
can go-
so he'll
I
pick
can
up
go
on
over.
that, but
So-
the bottom line is, we do have to do that drainage study, and in compliance with the drainage study is how the land would be developed, but go ahead, Tony.
Okay, so this is more the technical side that you're asking for on the drainage specifically. So here's the west property line, east property line. As you know, there's the existing private drainage easement that runs along this area that flows into Star Hills. We think we're gonna be required to do something similar to that.
Again, though, wait,
Put
let me
a
stop you
bar-
there. Doesn't that stop?
Yeah.
It stops, it doesn't go all the way.
It doesn't go all the way up.
It's not all the way up.
Okay.
So that's right, it's like, it's on Esperon. Esperon is the first street up,
Okay.
and then that's it. So there's nothing current right now, so it would be brand new.
So yeah, we're gonna be
Okay.
adding one on our,
Okay.
a private drainage on our side, on
Okay.
both sides. So
Okay.
there's, for the portions that exist on your
You're gonna
east
make it
property line, our
coincide
west, that'll exist and we're not gonna touch that, that'll remain the same. Then we're gonna add an additional 5 or 6 foot wide private drainage easement on our property that'll run parallel to yours down this property line. And in order to capture flows on the east property line, we're gonna have the exact same thing going down this way right here. So you can see, we kind of have broken out, and see what it's gonna look like. So the orange is the blue is the west
Okay.
property, near you.
Okay.
So this right here is today, here's the 2 samples I showed you. This is what today exists right here. This is your drainage channel right here. In certain areas, we're higher in elevation, so we're gonna create a new one in this location, and then here is our retaining wall over here. So there'll be 2 private ones on this side running parallel together, one that someone on your side maintains, and then someone on our side that'll maintain. So that's, again, this is still subject to drainage study approval, but that's what we believe will satisfy, hopefully satisfy a drainage study.
Right.
So that would be.
Actually, I did have somebody on property talk about that. To do a drainage like that, 'cause you're talking about runoff of the mountain, it would be safer if the drainage was lower than the actual, where the property would be at level. Because it would be water be running lower than higher. It'd be more risk, it's higher in our backyard, all our neighbors' backyards. If the drainage was lower, it makes more sense to be safer.
This is what the preliminary information I have received, and obviously, as Jen said, we have to submit a drainage study that has to be reviewed and approved by Clark County. If it's not ultimately approved, we're back to the drawing board. But this is like preliminary. I know that was gonna be one of the questions, so we were trying to provide at least preliminary information that was given to us to share with you.
Can you go back to the elevations for a second?
Yes, so that was right here. Now this is based on, we didn't run a new one. So this one shows the 40 lots. So we're not doing 40 lots, but well, at least
But the
give you.
elevations are staying the same?
The it'll be relatively close,
Okay.
so that we can
But
have
you're still going
an
as
idea.
high up in the mountain, but just.
We
less
are
homes.
still, yes, we still have to cut up into the mountains, so again, this is the east property line, west property line. The elevation in here starts, so on Star Hills, the elevation is about 2,565 feet is the finished floor, or the grade
And
at Star
that's
Hills.
even though with.
That's at
with-
Star Hills.
Okay.
And then you work your way up, so from there, from 2565, these lots on the north, adjacent to the BLM property, will be at 2640. So that's 80 or so foot climb. So that's on this side 2640, on this side 2635. So from here, there's about a 5-foot drop going in this particular area. So that's elevation. Now this shows 40 lots, again, just to clarify, we're only doing 30, but this was just the old elevation showing you guys. Yes.
From the back of the north property line,
Yeah,
how
up here.
far back are you going to
Yes,
grade and what
we
will
have-
that top elevation be?
Yeah, we have that picture.
You still plan on putting a gravel pit on top of that mountain?
That's a whole nother subject.
So
Let's
that's
take
the,
two questions.
no, go
That's
ahead.
all that was
Yeah,
supposed to
so-
This lady's
Here,
first.
here. So let me show you.
That's an
So it's hard. So when we had 40 lots, we had to grade up higher, so it's this outside line right here. That was, and it went off our map, and it was more than an acre.
About 44,000 square feet.
Now, based on 30 lot, the reduction, it's about a half acre, maybe just slightly less, and it's now this inner line right here that we would grade into. And that, do we know at what height that would be? Let's see if
Is
I
that
can-
on the other side of the mountain where you can't see it?
No, that's right at Dustin's house.
Yeah.
That's right in her house where that grading, and to encroach in BLM land at all, in my opinion, not okay. I know BLM might have given them the okay, I know they want the money from that gravel and getting all that material out of there, but to scar that hillside like the townhouses did on the other side, in my opinion, is unacceptable.
So what are people gonna see when they drive by? They're gonna see top of the
They're
mountain?
they're not gonna see anything, but you get up on, Esperon and you get up on Romette, they're gonna look over an enormous scarred hill. That's what they're gonna look at, and if they take that half an acre, that hill's scarred for good, that's not coming back.
Right.
And it's not okay that that's where their money's coming from, is going into that, it has nothing to do with the houses. And encroaching in there, in my opinion, is completely unnecessary, so they just can squeeze in as many houses as they want.
Hold on.
Then I got a
Just a
young
quick
lady in the
fact
back.
check. So every property that's gonna be up against the wall to the bordering neighbors, whether it's Montage Road or the opposite side, are all gonna be one story, correct?
Right now, our proposed condition is only on the west side, so,
You're saying yes, he's saying on the west side.
West side.
west side.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
lots,
so you're
name
you're
on
ignoring
top.
Star Hills completely?
so lots, whatever, I think it was 6, 7, oh, yeah, so right. So the west property line right here, these lots, 6, 7, 18, 19, and 30. Would be the one-story product. In the back, she was in the bar, and then I'll get you too, but yeah, go ahead. Can you come up? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Gravel pit on a 6 acre, so you're saying half an acre, but this is 6 acres.
So-
Exactly where your grading is from.
So the 6 acres includes our 5 acres, plus the 1 acre we thought, plus the 1 acre now that we believe is gonna be closer to a half an acre than 1 acre. So it's our 5 plus, originally we had the additional 1 acre into the BLM. So, but now we're gonna reduce that, not only our 5, but reduce that 1 acre to a half acre. That's the total.
So you are putting in a gravel pit?
So no. So what we would do if we were adjacent to private property, let's say, we would go to that property owner and ask for permission to grade temporarily on that site so that we could have be able to access that site to grade on our site. Because this is BLM, they do not do permission to grade. They actually, we have to call under the county code, a gravel pit. We have to, what is it, minerals and? Sell minerals. So that's what we've entered into with BLM. And because it's now a public property, it's not permission to grade, it's a gravel pit. But we're not really doing any gravel or mining operations.
But you could. A gravel pit, but it's
You
not a
could,
gravel
I guess you
pit?
could,
It's
but,
not-
I
Well, then you
mean,
need to change your terminology.
I would, that's not my terminology,
They
that's
the county, it's not, it's
That's
not
the
their
county.
And
fault.
this is gonna be at the top of the mountain.
not the top, but it's gonna be,
I live next to Dusty, my property backs right up
Yeah.
there, I'm almost at the top of that mountain.
What I advise you guys to do, and
yeah.
I like that you changed, so, 40 to 30, you're making some, junior things, single stories, and you're starting to, we're starting. Have you seen the actual property firsthand?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Hers?
what I need you
I've
to.
seen it from.
Have you seen her backyard?
I've
No, we'd have to be
done
invited.
in her backyard, but
We
I've
would have to
seen
be
the
invited by
front
Dusty
and-
to go into her backyard.
Not yet, but my invitation, 100%
I know you have the nice
right
pool
now.
area and the.
And like right
She
now,
has a
there's
great
Awesome
yeah.
pool,
No
awesome
seat block.
backyard, I-
Yeah, and then just
I know
not
that
only the
much.
concerns of the gravel pit, but just of damage and whatnot, because we have ginormous rope boulders.
Right.
Right, and that whatever is gonna happen with the hydraulics, and it's very, very, very concerning to me, my husband, so, but like where you're, exactly where if I'm imagining and looking at this properly, what you're showing here, right when I'm pulling into my cul-de-sac, and that mountain that I see right now, I'm gonna be looking at a gravel pit.
It's gonna be gone.
It's gonna be gone.
It's gonna be gone, it's gonna be a hole, it's gonna be a pit,
It's actually
Wow.
gone.
it'll be gone.
Well, a portion will be
I mean, a
single story home.
Well, there's that and the
then-
single story with the retaining walls, and I get that, I
Right,
understand that, the project's gonna go there, I am accepting that, it just depends on, what's gonna get approved and whatnot. The gravel pit is even more concerning,
Dusty.
and the
Last meeting,
the
they said they were gonna
blasting.
put the gravel pit on
It's-
cactus and Torrey pine.
So no, that's that was the route. So, let me get
That whole
into,
mountain, so it's
No, no,
like,
so
where,
we-
they're doing it right there.
so, the top, again, this shows 40, we're down to 30, but it just, the exhibit still applies. On-site queue, there's, what was on-site queuing for the trucks, and then when they leave the site, where is it going and what is the path? What is the route? So, the top one is our site and shows basically the on-site queuing from the operation of removing the earthwork and then circling out and then back onto Star Hills. The bottom one now is the route itself. So you can see our site's right here, highlighted red, Star Hills, and it's gonna go up to Jones, to Cactus, and then over to our gravel, or what is this?
It's your dump
Gravel,
area.
our dump, whatever,
Cactus.
our site over here for processing. So this is our route that we will take. So Star Hills to Jones to Cactus, and then back in, on the north side of Cactus over here.
How many
So
school
that's-
crossings are on that route?
Is it just one?
I believe there's one.
Just the one right here?
And Desert Oasis, there's two, there's a high
there's
school
two.
and.
This is Desert
elementary.
Oasis,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but that's it is
That's
a
a school
school
crossing.
zone on Jones.
Okay,
The
And
start
Right,
is
so
into
right here.
Jones.
And
So
right
there's
past
two.
Frias Elementary.
right here.
The Steffi one doesn't, not that, yeah, Frias is that one, and then Desert Oasis.
This is the high school.
Yeah, Frias is the big one, then DL.
You're pointing to Frias over there, but all the people park on Star Hills, and the children cross on Star Hills, on Jones.
Oh, where, over here to
No,
access?
on Jones, where's Jones?
Jones is right here.
That's where they cross.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's where the
Yeah.
school is.
Everyone parks on the side.
yeah, and Desert
There's
Oasis.
actually.
So we're gonna make sure that there's no trucks going right before school, right after school, and
So right now, in order, our plan is to be on site, hopefully 6 days a week, dawn to dusk hours. We
wait a
think
minute. Is it dawn to dusk or is it 7 to 7?
well, right now we're saying dawn to dusk, because 7 o'clock, like in the winter, would be difficult. difficult to obviously do that, but 7 o'clock in
I just want to know
in
what time you're
summer.
gonna wake me up.
Yeah, so the bottom line is you guys are not starting till 7 AM, correct?
No, we have not
Could
said
be.
that.
No.
We have not said that.
We have not
We'll
set
take
the
that
time.
back, I'll write that
Yeah.
down, but we have not said that.
I'm just saying generally dawn to dusk, but we haven't agreed on times yet. If there's time frames you want to discuss, we can certainly bring that back.
10 to 2.
So then we're gonna need, then we'll need eight or 10 months.
Anchor's hours.
Yeah, well, then we'll need 8 to 10 months to finish the on-site work. So right now, if you just bear with me on, if we do dawn to dusk, roughly 10 hours a day, we think we can take about 1,000 cubic yards out per day. We anticipate it's 80-ish thousand cubic yards that have to be removed, so it's about 80 working days. Of course, we had a little bit of the discussion, there's gonna be wind advisory days, we're not gonna be allowed to operate other inclement weather days, so we do need a little buffer, so
You
that's
think
what we
it's 3 to
think
4
it's gonna be
months?
4
You're hoping
4
3 to
months.
4 months.
Yeah, but I think it's not gonna be 3 months, it'll be 4.
4 months.
Right.
Have you been
Just
down
based
there?
on, there's gonna be inclement weather days, windy days, et cetera. I know there was, I think you had it.
No, I do.
Sorry.
I live on Star Hills and I kind of feel like we're being forgotten about. I live right in the center, with a 2-story home. My kitchen, my dining room, my deck, everything faces your property with huge windows and doors. So basically, I wanna know, am I going to be looking right into some other people's houses, or are they gonna see my life the other day? Because you did one story for the other side.
You're on the east side?
I'm on Star Hills. Or, I'm sorry.
You're on the east side?
The east side,
That's why I asked that
Should be
question.
even on
Like,
both sides.
only
Yep.
one side's getting one story.
Yeah, because the east side has single-story homes, the west side has single-story homes.
Yeah.
But I don't think along the entire east side of our property, which would be the west side of where you are, I don't think that is adjacent here, there's any single-story homes.
But that's
Right.
not what I'm asking. I don't care if there's one.
Okay, I'm just explaining that that's the reason why we're matching
So I'm
single-story
going to
homes
be
where
right into
single-story
someone
homes
else's house
are.
and they're looking all into mine? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's just like your neighbors on the other side of you. I mean,
No, I
this
don't
house
think
has
so.
neighbors, I know, but it's private development here, so that's why there's gonna be
How high are the retaining
matching.
walls?
On the east property line?
Yeah.
Talking
Are they
9
both-
feet, 9 foot max. So what's how tall they step it back?
And is it the same on the west side?
So this actually would be a good illustration. So the blue, so the blue is the west side. The orange is now the east side. So for you on the east side right here, we're looking at this. This right here is your wall. This will be the private drainage on our east property line, and then this will be our retaining wall here. So in this certain place will be a little bit higher, but in this location will actually be lower. That just depends on the site where it falls. And then you can see as well, the blue is now our west property line. Again, here is the existing drainage, and then our proposed drainage next to our retaining wall. So that'll be,
And is that 9
you see
feet
where
too?
it's stepped. They're 9, it'll be a maximum of 9, it'll vary, but maximum of 9.
Can I ask a question I know everyone's kind of thinking about, which I don't know if it's expressed properly? You guys haven't seen it. I mean, you're literally digging a ditch and moving them out. The property damage that's gonna be done with the existing properties or earth movement. Earth movement is, you can't insure that. Homeowners policies don't insure that. What do you do? Pools, retaining walls, structural. What do we do? We're flooding.
What's the commitment from you guys
Well,
if
that was,
something
well, that was
damaged?
brought up in the first
That was
town
brought up
meeting, so
before.
what?
It was.
Right, so what's the,
Yeah,
what's
Because
what's
there was no
interesting-
funds set aside to protect
What's
homeowners
interesting
after the
about,
fact.
we've tried to dig into it, and to our understanding, and now if you're blasting, which we're not doing, there are different requirements if you're blasting and what you have to do versus if you're not blasting. And if you're not blasting, best that we can tell, there's nothing that requires, which I know this might sound terrible, please do not shoot the messenger as I tumble this out of my mouth, okay? If we're doing the rock crusher way of doing it without the blasting, the best that we can tell, there's no like requirement to do anything with the adjacent properties that we've seen. Again, it's this interesting nuance, like kind of the difference to blasting versus not blasting. I think it's in both parties' interest, our side as well, to maybe do on the immediate adjacent, so it's your side, on the immediate adjacent west side, those homes that run up the west, the homes that run up the east side, the immediate adjacent ones, you know, it's probably in best interest of both sides to do some kind of survey, if you will, of each lot, like where it stands before anything occurs, so
I
that
think that would
if
be,
there's
that would
something
be
that
great.
happened on your side, you know, and it was a crack, okay?
Yeah.
And the crack was never there to begin with, well, that's probably comes from our dirt work. If we go in and we see that there's a crack in your pool today, and that's noted on the survey, then you couldn't come to us as we were doing the dirt work and say, aha, there's a crack right here, because we would have surveyed it. So we've been talking about doing something like that, because I think it's beneficial to both us and you to know where we are before anything happens with your wall, your pool, whatever it may
But
be.
the
Can I say something
damages,
before somebody
sorry.
comments? Can we actually get that in writing before you?
Yeah, I gotta figure out like,
Before it goes to vote.
yeah, I think, so there'll be some of these things that go into a condition
How many
on the
years,
staff.
though,
Okay,
can we go
just a
out?
minute. There will be some of these things that go on, to the conditions of approval. Like, that's where you put this. So like, for example, the thing about the single-story homes, that will show up when it's all said and if this gets approved. I'm not making a judgment call on if it does, but if it gets approved, there'll be a condition that says lots immediately abutting the west boundary will be single-story. So I have to try to figure out how to write what I'm saying, but yes, that's a way that you would put it in so that you know and we know what the expectations of that would be.
Couldn't you just not put a house there?
No, that's not an option, sorry.
Damages doesn't show.
That's not an option.
I mean, you're gonna go, whoops,
Hey, this
it
lady's got some
cracked, and
questions.
then
She
the
hasn't
boulders
had a
Yeah,
boulders are
I'm
gonna fall
sorry.
down and
Guys,
destroy
she
their
hasn't
house
had
and
a
they're
chance.
Go ahead.
gonna go,
No.
oh, sorry.
Damages
Go ahead.
doesn't show up next month or a year later. What's the, it's not, what's the window?
You're right, I don't know. I've never, this is a
But
little
that's
bit of
something that needs
uncharted
to be
stuff.
thought
Yeah,
about,
that's
too.
good, that's good
So,
comment.
because,
Main
If we,
question.
excuse me, if we could get what she just recommended, that'd be great. Nobody else would get that. Jennifer, if we could
Right.
do that.
That would be great, however,
But that LLC's gonna disappear after this new building, so it's gonna.
But Darren Peterson owns it, and he's
I
still
know.
around, and he
I
didn't
know
make
who
of
owns it,
But we just put that in writing, then something.
Yeah, no, you have to do it because it becomes like a condition of approval on the site. So that the county goes through before they give C of Os for the homes and you've gotta like comply with those conditions.
That'd be true if you was in the way, if you sent it away.
who used it, should.
Yeah, but now you gotta go through all the
My friend
paperwork to
has,
get to him.
her hand
But they
raised,
should have.
Oh, I'm sorry,
They
who?
should have a
Is
fund.
it possible to do this?
Oh,
your hand's been raised for a long time.
Sorry, guys. So you are more than welcome to come see my backyard also, so when you see Dusty, you can come to mine. But when you guys go to the meeting on Wednesday and you go back, sorry, beat a dead horse, but back to like the 5.5 houses per the hillside ordinance that you're trying to do, are you actually going to look into the true number that the neighbors, that our neighborhood matched? Because again, like your number, your average is not correct, like for like your next door neighbor, because you're trying to use that as kind of, I don't wanna say like a scapegoat, but you're trying to use it as a crutch to say, validate what, how many houses you're building and what is
That's
not.
exactly what they're doing.
Thank you.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're going back to 25-year-old variances and things that were made for both of our neighborhoods, instead of just simply complying with current code.
I get it, but that's what I'm saying, so again, like, half of our neighborhood was completely to current code, which is 2-1. So when you go
Which is
there,
still true, right? Is
right,
it
it's
still
still,
one?
it's still
If there's a
2-1, so
hillside,
that hasn't changed,
it's
so
one.
again, like, when you go to, like, the county on Wednesday, you guys were trying to say, okay, well, this was an exception over here, but it wasn't, so again, can you prove or do we need to bring like our own big layout of everything and show, hey, there was only 2-1 on, for like these houses like here, so on the other side of our wall, we would respectfully like 2-1 to stay on that side.
It's probably something for you to bring, just being fair, right? I mean, the best that we can tell through our research, when you take in all of the property on either side and then we do the number of units, That's the density that for us, we've seen it come out at. Where I think it could be a little bit less is there, I think, you guys will correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think there are portions of your community that are undeveloped. And so when you do the density, so if let's say this hand is all the development, but this hand is some of the
On the
maintenance,
east side.
it goes on the east side. That's the east side, I know that's the fact over there.
Well, Montauk Road is complete,
So,
there is no.
like right here, so I'm legitimately talking about,
Use that area.
so if you legitimately, so here's your site, if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, oh yeah, sorry, so again, so my house, you're building 2 houses now versus the 4, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4. These are built, it's like we're 2 to 1, so we fall
Right there, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so but when you go down further, this is like this elevation.
Yes, now I
was
understand what you're
completely
saying.
different, so they were allowed to put more houses.
Yes, that makes sense.
On it, and then Dupree Village like was in this big flat like beach, so like
right.
if you break it down like per like the original elevation, we fully met the 2 to 1
Right.
hillside, yeah.
But when you look at all of it, that's where it is.
Okay, that's where you got it, so that's what I'm saying, like it's, we, as Montage Monroe, fully did the 2 to 1.
Yeah, right on your end. Yeah, okay, I'm glad you showed me. Thank you. Okay. Yes.
Can you run through any of the waivers that you're going to be requesting?
Yes. So the question was, just to recap what we're requesting and then what we're withdrawing. So the first one is we have the increase maximum number of units. It was 40, where 16 is allowed in the hillside. That's been reduced to 30 now. We still need the waiver, but reduced from 150% to 87.5. We still need the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 waivers. Those are with respect to the disturbance, the hillside disturbance. Then the next one is where we allow a 16-foot high wall. Those are the interior ones. If you recall, right here, we have in between, say like lots 7 and 9 and lots 18 through 16, there's actually a step up right here. So this is an interior retaining wall because we still need the waiver, but because now we have less lots and made the lots larger, that is slightly reducing, not a lot. I mean, it was 16, we think it's now 15. The next one is allow a 10.7-foot high wall along Star Hills. We are withdrawing that one. We no longer need that because of the new design here. So that one will be withdrawn. And then all of the balance will remain.
So numbers 3A and 3B are still going and the
Is that
same
the correct? That is
percentages?
right.
That's the hillside?
Let's see here.
You're still requesting the
So,
100% disturbance for both?
Number 2,
Maybe
2A will be reduced to 15 feet instead of 16. 2B, we will withdraw. We no longer need that one. 2C, do we? 2C is still. Yeah, and then 2C, yes, we're keeping that one. And 3 and 4, we still need those.
So the 2 hillside from the original?
Yes, those are staying.
They're still the same?
Correct,
That
those
was the main problem that we all had.
Except the only thing, like I said, we still need it, but we've reduced the density from, instead of 40, we're 16, 30, we're 16 is.
So when you look at a photo of the property, basically this whole hill will be gone because that's going, right here, that's still the property, your property line here, and you're going another half acre up here, so that whole chunk's gonna be like gone, like straight down to be the retaining wall, like the additional height for the retaining wall.
So instead of the slope currently like this, if you will, we're gonna make it like this.
So we're just gonna see this little top here, and then it's just gonna be all houses here.
No houses there.
Shave this.
It's gonna be like cut straight down, and then houses starting, like probably right around there, so you're just gonna see like a straight like drop. So it's gonna be like this flat ugly thing that I see at Seneca, just a flat drop. And then, but we're gonna see that now. It's different where I live right by Seneca. The houses are there, it's private, you don't see it, but this is gonna be from the street.
Is that
So you're
from
gonna see,
the
like, this
end of
flat-
Montauk Room? Is that the?
That's yours, yeah, this is
Yeah.
this side, yeah.
So-
So it's just gonna be like a straight drop right here. It's just gonna be this flat, ugly, flat wall.
Well, yeah, like the townhouses, they're gonna shave that wall
Yeah,
off.
How
and
many
then the
feet is
houses
that?
are gonna start right here.
No, they won't be that high.
Well, they'll be down like right, somewhere around wherever the
They're
property
gonna,
level.
yeah, right around where Dusty's house starts is where the first one's gonna be, but the problem is what happens to behind it.
Yeah, it's
And
just gonna
going
be
into the
straight.
BLM land to,
How many feet is that gonna be? That's gonna be shaved?
Well, I'm sorry, what's the
How
question?
many feet is that gonna be shaved? So what we're gonna look at?
It's just gonna be like, just a straight
I
drop,
don't
like
know.
just like
Yeah,
Seneca.
you know.
Yeah, how many feet is it? Is it 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet?
I don't know.
We're gonna
So
see
no, it's gonna be the whole
about,
top, like they're
40
literally just
40
cutting
feet.
it the whole thing.
So again,
40
we're,
feet of
instead of the hill being like this,
rock.
we're gonna lay it back like that. That's really.
Yeah, but over the houses, it's gonna be 40 feet of shaved.
Yeah, the upper part, like
Right.
this part here, but then it's just gonna go like a straight drop, so that's gonna be. They have to put them. Yeah, so that way it's kind of like part of the retaining wall. Because they don't have it legally certain thing, so that'll match as part of the retaining wall for the properties that are down here, but we're just gonna see it straight. That's how some of it.
So currently, the top of the hill you show your picture
Yep.
is really right about here.
correct.
And we were disturbing an acre that consumed this whole chunk. With the redesign, now we're only going back to this dimension, not this dimension. So about half of the area we're disturbing is gonna be full.
Oh, yeah, there
So
will be
it's
above
just
you.
grading it, less grading.
It's gonna be above you.
Yeah.
And we're
Does
gonna
that
use that
answer your
help.
question?
Maybe you could carve something nice into it, like, what's it called, diamond star?
It's our hills.
Stars.
Yeah.
Haven't put a diamond in it, you know.
Good
Hey,
marketing.
hey, you like that, huh?
I do, that's
Star Hill.
It's just done itself.
Hold on, she had,
So,
You can't just like stop here, it's gonna be graded from the top because if it's thicker, it can't just
No,
go
it's
down.
not.
This is the top of the
You know what I mean? It would,
The top of the top.
Yeah.
the drainage would go
Before,
right to
we
the
were
It's gotta start
like this.
from the top and then go down because if it's high, you know what I'm saying, like, it doesn't make sense. That's.
okay, so let's, okay, we got about 10 more minutes, so we'll start to wind it up. Go
The
ahead.
waiver that he mentioned, is the 16 houses is technically allowed on that lot, the 5 acres, but you're asking for 30?
So there's two components. One is, we didn't really go over the zoning, but it is zoned RS 3.3, just like on both sides of us, which would allow 8 units to the acre. But there is an overlay on top of that, or there's an overlay, because we're on the hillside, and there's the 2-to-1
Okay, so-
ratio, so
So technically 16
16,
is allowed, but you're asking for 30.
but we're
So
at,
it's still over what is allowed.
Correct.
but it's within the zone, within the zoning district.
Not the hillside, not for the hillside, not the slope.
Yes, sir.
Why? Why don't you just comply with the hillside ordinance? What's wrong with that? Is it just money? Because really what it boils down to is this, if you built, say, 20 houses at $250 a square, 2,250 square feet per house ballpark, that's $11,250,000 on a, what, $1.5 million, $2 million investment? Isn't it just greed really that's driving this instead of just the desire to comply with the hillside ordinance? It's money, right?
Yeah.
How many houses could go there without any variance?
Why don't?
Okay, so my point is, hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt. If you only build 16, you're saying you might not make enough money. So all this is, this guy bought a piece of land for price X. They could hold number of homes Y. He bought it thinking, hey, I'm a really smart businessman. I can make money at price X. He found out maybe he wasn't as sharp as he thought he was. So now he needs Y times 3, essentially. So all he's saying is, I don't want to lose money by buying the wrong piece of land. I'm going to create all these variances, uproot all these traditions, norms, rules, safety violations, just so he could put 3 times as many houses as the land is zoned for, like they did when they built our houses. Does that sound
And
fair?
destroying the hill in the
But
process.
take all that out. It doesn't sound like really, all they're trying to do is circumvent fair and safe zoning laws. In this gentleman's mind, the same thing. you're just trying to make more money or recoup money maybe because he bought the wrong piece of
But
land.
that's also why he wants the BLM land. He's making money on that land being destroyed.
Right.
So it's not just that, it's that he wants to get into that land because that's where his money is too.
And he's using norms from 20 years ago to try and validate what they want to do. And those norms that were 20 years ago, now after more science, all of that, we've created drainage ditches all over the city in the last 30 years because we realized there's problems. And that's why the R2 rules have changed. So you can't use and normalize what you want to do now from things that don't work anymore. And that's your excuse. You keep using the fact that the two neighborhoods on each side, which you kind of fudge the numbers, but you're trying to use those precedents from 20 years ago as, you know, look, this is what, we're only asking what has been done in the past.
Okay, well, we didn't fudge the numbers, number one.
Well, you
Number
have
two
to.
is, the land is also zoned for 8 units to the acre. There is an overlay. We're both right in different ways, okay? The land has a density that could go up to 8. There's a hillside overlay that allows it to go to 16. So I'm trying to answer your question. I don't agree with your statement. I'm trying to answer the question. So you have all asked, why doesn't he just build less homes? None of us sitting up here are the ones, that is what you've asked. You've asked, why doesn't he just do 16? Correct. That's less homes than what we're showing.
It is not the same thing. You don't want, you act like zoning is all that matters. In order to say these things, you act like the hillside ordinance doesn't exist. But it does, and you have to get a variance. And my question is, why do you need the variance besides money?
He also looked at the zoning and it's up to 8 units to the acre.
Yeah, I
so we're
understand that,
coming
but
forward. Listen, there's not gonna be an answer that I'm gonna give that is gonna satisfy you
No, we know
at all,
that.
at all.
Yeah, we know that.
Okay, so let's,
Yes,
final
yeah.
question, we got 2 questions left.
I apologize for being late, the question may have been asked already, but my question is, private what's the community there? Where are his other developed communities, Vegas, Nevada, where are his other communities he's accomplished?
We asked for that before, so we.
He doesn't have any single-family home developments that are out of the ground. We've gotten a number of them approved, but none that have come out of the ground yet.
So no experience with hillside ordinance, like breaking that for development?
No, but he's in the dirt business, so he knows how to.
But again,
do
no
the dirt.
experience with actual building of communities and homes, with taking out the hillside.
He's in the dirt business, so he knows that.
So that's no.
Okay, final question. Yes.
I just wanted to stand up to let everyone know. So I'm a reporter with Channel 8, and so we got word about this on social media. So we are here to not only talk to reps from the developer and the lawyers, but then also talk to residents here. So after this meeting, come meet up with us and talk.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for coming. We appreciate it very much.
Answer completely because it was interrupted from Tony.
Alright.
The school, the truck's going to try to bypass the time when the children are entering.
No, we haven't considered any restrictions.
Just drive down there at 9 o'clock in the morning and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you'll see 300 cars lined up.
Yeah.
The kids walking across the street. Grandmother walking walker every day.
I have one more question. How do we get copies of this? It's not online, so I'd like to review that before the meeting. Last week it wasn't, so when did you upload it? What? Nothing?
It should be online. We'll have to check and see through the county, but it should be.
Can I take photographs of this? Because there's no way to protect a picture.